Second top voice on the show. We spoke about Sri Lanka. It's got a woman prime minister. And let's get in a woman speaker to come in on the show. Silvana Koch-Mehrin, who is the founder president of Women Political Leaders. Thank you so much, Silvana, for speaking to me on India Sense. We're speaking at a time when Kamala Harris could really break that ultimate glass ceiling in global politics. She's raised $1 billion in funding. What kind of a message do you think her victory could send to women leaders around the world?
Political figures are always public figures, and role models matter a lot. So representation matters a lot. And we've seen this in many, many ways, that if there are women, for example, my home country, Germany, Angela Merkel being 16 years in power, or now for the EU Commission, Ursula von der Leyen being the president, that has impact, because there is the saying, you can be what you can see. So if there's a woman at the top of political leadership, that definitely sends a strong signal.
Indeed. But you've been interacting with a lot of women political leaders. You're a woman political leader yourself. How do you think you differentiate, or what are the differences between male and female politicians?
We definitely see a big difference when women are in political leadership in significant numbers, because it of course matters that it's not just one woman or two women, but that there is a critical number of women who actually can move the needle. And we have done a very, very comprehensive study together with the World Bank and academic partners like King's College, where we showcase that the discrimination by law against women is reduced with more women in political leadership. And that means then that women can more actively participate in the economy, which again has benefits for all of society. Similarly, in health or also in other policy areas, more women in political leadership really make a difference, because they bring in different perspectives, different priorities, and just kind of having this whole diversity of decision making.
What do you think Southeast Asia gets right that the world needs to follow? Only recently, Sri Lanka got Harini Amarasuriya as its new prime minister.
I'm always very happy when I hear that there is a woman advancing into leadership position and also bringing up more women with her, or in her team, or just as an encouragement. You know, what I think is critical is that we don't leave it at those one single women, that we then basically can say in less than 2 minutes all the names of all the prime ministers, presidents that are women around the world. Last week in the UN General Assembly Hall, there was the high-level meeting, and less than 10% of the speakers representing their countries were women. So what does Southeast Asia get right? Well, they might embrace diversity in decision-making already stronger. I don't know, I'm not the expert on it, you don't know much better. But I think what is critical is that we make this complete normality, that it doesn't really make a headline anymore, that people don't get excited that there is a woman, but that it's just normal.
Indeed, indeed. Let's see how far back are we going to be able to get that. But according to you, when women are at the top, what kind of a decision-making public policy really happens then?
What holds societies back massively, be it in economic development, in cultural development, in educational development, is old stereotypes. Stereotypes that confine men to certain areas, that confine women to certain areas of life. And by this, we miss so much of the potential of that, what a society could have. So more women in leadership, they change the stereotype on what is a leader, what does leadership look like, what does a leader look like. And this opens possibilities for women in other sectors of leadership, if it's in the corporate, in the academia or elsewhere, but also for men, because it becomes more of a side by side than competing or one behind the other.
And what about India? India has produced very strong political leaders, women leaders in the past. How can we build on this momentum?
I believe very much in peer-to-peer learning. And instead of me giving advice specifically, I think what is really empowering and also helpful is to check with other countries, how do you do this? What are the untold lessons that you can apply also in your own situations? And this is very inspiring for the current leaders to stay in and to do a better job, but also for girls who might consider going into politics, or just to make them consider going into politics, just to also make them aware of this is very much an area where they can excel.
Silvana, I really appreciate you taking out the time and speaking to me on India Sense.